الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال يا بني لا تدخلوا من باب واحد وادخلوا من أبواب متفرقة وما أغني عنكم من الله من شيء إن الحكم إلا لله عليه توكلت وعليه فليتوكل المتوكلون ولما دخلوا من حيث أمرهم أبوهم ما كان يغني عنهم من الله من شيء إلا حاجة في نفس يعقوب قضاها وإنه لذو علم لما علمناه ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون صدق الله العظيم. Respected brothers and my dear young friends, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the episode and the time when the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam decide to make their second journey towards Egypt to get some foodstuff and some grains. And last week we mentioned that as they were about to leave, Yaqub alayhi salam, as a father, and the love that he had in his heart for them, it compelled him to give them some parting advice, and he told them to enter the city or the palace of Yusuf alayhi salam from different doors. And we mentioned that Mufassirin say what was the wisdom behind this. It was either so that the evil gazes cannot be casted on them, and we briefly mentioned the effects of the evil eye, nazar, which we call in Urdu and Gujarati, in nazar lagige, etc. That it is a reality, it is haq, al-aynu haqqun. Rasulullah said that nazar is a reality, that people can cast gaze on people, and the effect of that is it will harm the person or the object, the item. Somebody looks at somebody's car, brand new car, and he looks at it with an eye of envy or an eye of jealousy, then it is possible that that car later on becomes faulty, something happens to it. And we also discussed the way to protect that Rasulullah mentioned that when you see something that pleases you, then say Barakallah or say MashaAllah or La Quwwata illa Billah. And this goes with our children at home as well, that sometimes the evil eye is not just casted from jealous people or envious people. In fact, even beloved people and family members could cast evil gazes on their children, etc., not knowing. And we said that that's why whenever you see your children in a good state, then you should say MashaAllah, and you should refer to the whole issue to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anyway, we went through a few things. Yaqub salam, when he mentions to his sons to enter the door, afterwards he says to them, وَمَا أُغْنِيَنْكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, that I cannot be of any benefit to you against the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That I am giving you this tadbir, I am giving you this plan of action that enter from different doors, but that doesn't literally mean that you'll be safeguarded from evil or you'll be safeguarded from anything that we don't want to see. In fact, I am just saying to you, and I cannot benefit you in any way against the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? In al-hukmu illa lillah, decisions rest with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The end result, the ultimate result is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed. Alayhi tawakkaltu wa alayhi falyatawakkali mutawakkilun. Only on him do I rely, and all of those who put their reliance should rely on him only. So Yaqub alayhi salam, after mentioning the method, the precaution that enter from different doors, just to clear the air and to balance his statement, he mentions that I am giving you something called tadbir. Tadbir is precautionary measures. Precautionary measures, means, adopting means, that's called tadbir in Arabic. Tadbir, when you do something, you adopt a means. I'm going to do it like this. This is a means, this is called tadbir. So he tried to put them in their minds that this instructions that I'm giving you to enter from different doors, that is the tadbir. But on the other hand, you have Allah's decree. that whatever Allah has decreed will happen. Even if you enter from different doors, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed harm, you cannot go away from it. That harm cannot miss you. That harm will definitely reach you. So to balance this up, Yaqub alayhi salam put it in their minds that وَمَا أُغْنِيَنْكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْءٍ, that me telling you this will not benefit you in any way, because the strategy and the advice I'm giving you is not ultimate. The ultimate strategy and the ultimate result is in fact what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed, and nobody can prevent that and nobody can turn away from this. And this is the prophetic method, and this is the method that the Anbiya shows, that adopt the means. Adopt the means, but have the reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why in the time of Uhud, Rasulullah put two pairs of armor on. Like somebody could say, he's a Nabi of Allah, he should have reliance on Allah. No, reliance is one thing, but adopting the means is another thing. And this is where we have to strike the balance. And in this aspect, and in this concept of tawakkul and tadbir, we have two different groups. We have one group of people who call themselves mutawakkilin, or we have tawakkul, so we don't need to adopt means. If Allah's decreed illness for me, then that's it, I'm happy. I don't need to take medicine. It's decreed for me. If Allah's decreed that my house is going to get robbed, then I don't need to put cameras, it's going to get robbed anyway. This is not the correct method. This is not the prophetic method. This is not the moderate method. And on the other hand, we have a group of people who just rely on their tadbir. I have the latest CCTV. I have wireless alarms. That's sufficient. Why do you have to pay Ayatul Kursi for? Where's the tawakkul? Why don't you do tawakkul for? I've got cameras. Only to find out later that the thief came in from the roof, and their cameras and their alarms in hell. So what's the prophetic method? The prophetic Rasulullah, once Rasulullah was sat, and a Bedouin came, Ja Rajul, and he said, he came with his camel, and he said, A'qiluha wa atawakkalu, aw utlikuha wa atawakkalu. Ya Rasulullah, should I tie it and have tawakkul, or should I let it loose and have tawakkul? Rasulullah said, A'qilha wa tawakkal. Tie it and then have tawakkul. Adopt the means and then have tawakkul. Yes, eat the medicine, but the reliance should be that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put shifa in this medicine for me, it will definitely work. I am praying this taweez, I am reciting this wazifa. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this mu'athir, then it will work, one night won't work. So adopt the means. Don't say, no, I don't need to take the medicine. If I have been decreed to live for 70 years, I'll live without medicine. And if I have not been decreed, then the medicine is not going to work anyway. We don't know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed for us. So as humans, what have we been told to do? We are being told to take the asbab. Adopt the asbab, but reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Adopt the means, but tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Lock your door. Put the alarm on. But tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only Allah who can safeguard my house. Eat the roti. That's the sabab to fulfill your hunger. Eat the roti. Don't say, if Allah wants to get rid of my hunger, He can get rid. No. Eat the roti, but don't think the roti will take my hunger away. It is Allah who will take the hunger away. That's why we see so many times that somebody eats 3 rotis for sehri, and by zohar time he's hungry as anything. And sometimes a person couldn't wake up for sehri. And what happens? The whole day goes on, he doesn't get hungry. Who has taken away the hunger? Allah, not the roti. Yes, adopt the means. Adopt the means, but tawakkul. Don't say, yes, if I eat this roti, you're going on a journey with friends. And you say, let's stop at somewhere. No, I've got my 3 rotis, I don't need to eat. That'll fill me. No. If Allah does not put the khasiyat and the effects of your stomach being filled with them 3 rotis, you can eat 1,000 rotis and your stomach will not fill up. So, Yaqub salam is teaching his sons a very important rule, that yes, adopt the means, and this is for all of us. Adopt the means, but don't think that it's your means that will make things work. Yes, you have the best car. You've got your seatbelts on. You've got airbags, and you think nothing's gonna happen to me. No. Bismillah. Subhanallah. Sakhkhara lana hadha ma kunna. Yes, I've got all the means. Yes, my car is not gonna break down on me, but it's only Allah that can protect me. No matter how much of a good driver I am, no matter how much good control I have over my car. But that's why they say, kabhi mahir bhi galti kar leta hai. Even a mahir driver takes a mistake. And sometimes a person doesn't even realize. And he realizes, okay, I slipped. So, This is and in this method, there in fact more the wisdom behind is more logical. Because a person, when he arms his house, he puts the alarm on, and he's got gated, his house is gated, or he's got alarms on it, and he's got CCTV, then naturally, what will he think? I don't need to do tawakkul. My means are sufficient. But then what does he say to himself? No. My means are not sufficient. I have to do tawakkul. Whereas one person has no means, his reliance will not be, this person's reliance will be even stronger. Because he has adopted the means, but then he thinks, no, I have adopted the means, but no, it's my Allah who can protect me. It's my Allah who can safeguard me. Nothing else can protect me. So anyway, Yaqub puts this into their mind and he bids them farewell. They leave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then mentions that the next part. وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرُهُمْ أَبُوهُم. وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا, when they entered, مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرُهُم, from where their father had instructed them. They entered the way their father had instructed them, from different doors to different doors. They took the precaution. مَا كَانَ يُغْنِي أَنْهُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. مَا كَانَ يُغْنِي, it could not be of any benefit to them against the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reiterates, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds them that yes, Yaqub also said that, but also Allah is reminding us that Yaqub, what he said, he just said it because he had a desire in his heart. He had an urge in his heart that, let me tell my children, it's like a father, and your son is going London on the motorway, and the father thinks, okay, let me just tell him, make sure you don't take the toll road. Don't go on the other one, it's very busy, and at this time is peak time, and a lot of accidents happen. So a father has the urge to tell his son. That doesn't literally mean that on the toll there'll be no traffic. And sometimes when you don't say, you have this urge, it comes into your heart. Okay, let me tell my son something. He's going to school and say, listen, make sure you cross the road properly. So he says it. And crossing the road properly or not saying it doesn't mean that he'll protect him from the accident. But what's the other thing that will happen? That if he said it and the accident happened, then he'll probably think, at least I did tell him. And if he didn't have said, if he wouldn't have said, if he wouldn't have said that cross the road properly and then an accident would have happened, then he would have some regret. Okay, it came in my heart when he was leaving that I should have told him, okay, be careful when you cross the road, but I thought it's so minor, I don't even say it to him. And he had an accident, I think, then he'll have regret. So similarly, over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that whatever Yaqub said, he has said it because he had this urge that let me tell my sons, let me give them this advice. Whether it works or it doesn't work, that's a different issue. مَا كَانَ يُغْنِي أَنْهُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا حَاجَةً فِي نَفْسِ يَعْقُوبَ قَضَاهَا. It could not be of any benefit to them against the will of Allah. However, it was just a need in the heart of Yaqub. Haja, it was just a need in his heart. And from there, Mufassirin say that when our father says something to you, that logically, whether it fits in your mind, why is my father telling us to go from different doors? It doesn't really make a difference. So many people enter the doors, thousands of people. You go in, for example, Haram Sharif, and there's 10 doors, and say, well, how is people going to notice there's thousands of people walking in? Mufassirin and ulama say that when your father or your parents say something to you, which has no sin inside it, then oblige with it. They're telling you, you're going to the mall, you're going to town center, and they're telling you park in that space or park in that area. And you think to yourself, but the doors, the entrance there, why should I park there for? Oblige with them. There's no guna in there. Maybe when you park there and you oblige with them, there'll be more barakat in your action. Although sometimes it doesn't make sense. Don't park here, park there. Or when you do this, do that. Don't do it like this. Or don't go to work using this route. Go to work, and you think, what's the difference? Why is my father telling me this for? So ulama say, when your father or your parents say something, where zahiran there is no sin, if they tell you, oh, stop talking to fulana, don't go to your foi's house, this is qata rahmi. Yes, in there respectively, and humbly you tell them, okay, Abba, although you're telling me, but sharan, I cannot do this. So there you don't oblige, but you don't be abrupt. You tell them nicely that I can't do this. But where they tell you something which is not against the Shariat, then you should oblige with them. Just like the sons here, what did they do? He told them that enter from different doors. They didn't argue. Why? What do you need to do? It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. It's 1960s. You got old mentality. No. Father says something, then oblige with it. Be good. Be nice. Be humble. And oblige with it. And maybe sometimes they see things that we don't see. They have a farsightedness. They've been through life. They've had 60 years of life experience. And they might be saying something that yes, when you park too close to the supermarket entrance, somebody's trolley might hit it and damage your car, so park a bit far, where there's not enough people coming out at once, etc. So in those aspects, ulama say from this we can understand that wherever there is, our parents mention things to us, and there is no zahiran against the Sharia, then we should follow the rules. وَإِنَّهُ لَذُو عِلْمٍ لِمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then goes on to talk about Yaqub alayhi salam, that indeed he was a knowledgeable person. He was knowledgeable of that which we taught him. Meaning Yaqub alayhi salam, there are two types of ilm. One is ilm wahabi, ilm ladunni, and one is ilm kasabi. What's ilm wahabi or ilm ladunni? Ilm ladunni is that ilm that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts directly into a person's heart. Allah salam, they get ilm ladunni, direct from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for the general masses, for us, it's ilm kasabi, that you have to adopt a system, you have to go into a madrasa, you have to go into a darloom, you have to take time over years, you slowly learn. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we gave Yaqub such knowledge. And through this knowledge, he made the fine balance. That tawakkul on one side and tadbir on one side. Don't mix the two. Make clear that this is tadbir, this is tawakkul, but they're both important. But your eye should be on tawakkul. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But most people do not know this. Yani most people, in regards to the means and precautions, they do not know exactly the reasons, the meaning they don't completely understand the concept of tawakkul and tadbir, and they could go beyond the limits on each side. Whereas Yaqub said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising himself. When Allah praises somebody, one is I praise somebody, so a great mufti praises somebody, that's one thing. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised that وَإِنَّهُ لَذُو عِلْمٍ, that he had profound knowledge, he had exceptional knowledge. And when a person with exceptional knowledge says this, then he means something. So anyway, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then goes forward and he mentions the point where وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُف, and when they entered the presence of Yusuf alayhi salam, that the brothers, they entered, they came, they obliged with the father's rules and they entered. قَالَ أَوَى إِلَيْهِ أَخَاهُ, Yusuf alayhi salam made his brother stay with him. He got him close to him. And he said, إِنِّي أَنَا أَخُوكَ, that I am indeed your brother. فَلَا تَبْتَئِسْ, so do not worry. فَلَا تَبْتَئِسْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, do not worry about what they do. Lama Qurtubi mentions that when they entered the court of Yusuf alayhi salam, Yusuf alayhi salam was also in anticipation for them, he was waiting for them. So as soon as they came, Yusuf alayhi salam asked them, that I told you, have you brought your brother? He says, yes, we brought our brother Binyamin. So Yusuf alayhi salam told them, he must have had some words with them, how's your father? Jobio. After he had them words, he told them all, okay, get in pairs. Everyone get in pairs. So all the brothers, 10, 11 brothers, so you can only make 5 pairs and one person will be left out. So all the brothers quickly, they got together. The 10 brothers, they got together. And just like previously, Yusuf was the odd one out, this time is Binyamin. So anyway, they left Binyamin on the side. The others, they got in groups of 2 pairs of 5 pairs, 2. Yusuf made arrangements for them to go into rooms. And he gave them a lodging, he gave them a room to stay, etc. Who's left now? Binyamin. Binyamin was instructed to go in a particular room. And when Binyamin went to the room, Yusuf was there. And when Yusuf saw him, then he drew him closer. He got him closer. He comforted him. And then they must have started talking. And in some tafsir mentioned that he asked them, that, have you got a brother? Yes, we had a brother. And he went to because Binyamin wasn't there at the time. And he just said what he heard, that he went to the jungle and this happened, X, Y, and Z. So Yusuf said, no, this is not the reality. The reality, I am your brother. Inni ana akhuk, I am your brother. Imagine the emotions, the crying, the cheering, and the embracing and the hugging. That, you are my brother. And some say that, he said to him, don't worry. Don't worry. Meaning, what your brothers have either given trouble to you, because just like they gave me trouble, they definitely must have given you trouble. Or if they didn't give you trouble, but because they separated me from the family, and the trouble you and Yaqub had to go through, don't worry, it's coming to an end now. It's coming to an end now. I've exposed to you, I've done zuhur to you that I'm your brother, and very surely, inshallah, Yaqub will also find out. So when Binyamin saw this, then naturally, a brother, he wants that brotherly love and together. So he said, I want to stay with you. So how can I keep you with me? Because if I keep you without a reason, then them brothers, what they done? They didn't custom to their father. They gave custom that that we will definitely bring him back. So if Yusuf keeps Binyamin without a valid reason, what the brothers going to do? They're going to fight for it. They're going to argue. Why are you keeping him behind for? There's no reason for you to keep him behind. And if Yusuf ﷺ exposes the secret to them, listen, this Binyamin is my brother. I'm Yusuf. He's exposed a secret which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not told him to expose yet. Yusuf ﷺ was not telling anybody that he is Yusuf because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had told him that he cannot do it. That's why Yaqub ﷺ, although Yaqub ﷺ was not million miles away, Yusuf ﷺ had many means of getting the message across that I'm safe and well about, don't worry about me. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stopped him, that he can't pass the message. And Mufassirin say that on the other hand, Yusuf ﷺ was so famous, and Yaqub ﷺ was so famous as well. Yaqub ﷺ was the Nabi and was famous. How come Yaqub ﷺ never got to know that Yusuf ﷺ was, this is my son, who's the king? Mufassirin say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had blocked that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not let this news reach Yaqub ﷺ, that it's my son who is the king. So if he exposed to them that I'm Yusuf, and then they go home, then there's two things. Either they will say that we've been told that he's Yusuf, or they will not say we've been told that he's Yusuf. So they will hide it. And if they hide it, then Yaqub ﷺ will get even more trouble. He will get more worried. And he will get more pain. That, why is my son Binyamin been kept behind? There's no valid reason. How come they've not brought him? Have they hatched another plan? So Yusuf ﷺ told his brother Binyamin that if you want to stay behind with me, then there's only one way. We have to hatch a plan. We have to make a plan. And what's the plan? The plan will become a bit of humility for you. You'll have to take a bit of humility. And what's the plan? The plan is that I will put my drink cup. He's coming, inshallah, we'll talk about it next week. Siqaya. Siqaya means the cup that the king drinks it from. And it was a very expensive pot, a very expensive utensil. It was, some say, made of silver, some say made of gold, some say it's made of a stone, very expensive stone. So he said, the only way is that I will put this into your luggage, and as soon as you guys stop leaving, we'll say that the king's finger has gone missing. And in the country of Yusuf ﷺ, in Misr, the rule was, if somebody steals something, then what's the revenge? That person becomes revenge. So in that way, you steal it, we'll act like you've stolen it, and then in that way I will be able to keep you behind. That way, your father will realize you've been kept behind for a reason, and at the same time, the secret of exposing to other brothers and Yusuf will not be exposed. So inshallah, we'll carry it next week from this part where Yusuf ﷺ and Binyamin hatched the plan so that Binyamin can stay behind. At this moment, you can imagine for Yusuf ﷺ a sigh of relief. Alhamdulillah, at least I've got to know my brother Binyamin. At least there's somebody in my family that I can lean on to. I can put a hand over. But at the same time, on that end, imagine the sorrow that Yaqub is going to go through, where the test becomes even more intense for him. But Ashad al-Balal al-Anbiya, Summa al-Amthal fal-Amthal, Rasulullah said that the greatest test on Anbiya ﷺ. Anbiyas get tested the most. After them, whoever walks on their path, whoever adopts taqwa, adopts piety, they also get tested. But the barakah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them all these sifat, tawakkul and sabr and tahammul, that all these tests happen outwardly. Outwardly, me and you think, how is he doing it? But inwardly, the heart is bilkul at itminan. Okay, whatever is happening is bilkul happening at the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has planned it. And it is happening the way Allah wants it to happen. And just they go with the flow. So anyway, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the correct understanding. Subhanallah, subhanallah, I think Azan is going to happen in about 15 minutes. It's probably better that we stay in the masjid and recite our zaif, tasbihat, dhikr, Quran, and make the most of it. I mentioned previously as well that waiting for salah, al-intidhar fi salah, just like you get the reward for salah. The reward for salah is unknown, but praying with Jamaat is 27 times more. What the reward is, we don't know. But praying with Jamaat is 27 times more. And whoever waits for namaz is as though he's in namaz. So without any effort. That's why Imam Ghazali mentions that whenever you do a good deed, try to do it with the best niyats. And you don't have to have one niyat. You start in the masjid, you can make many niyats. You can make a niyat that I'm sitting in the masjid so I can do my tilawat. I'm sitting in the masjid so I can wait for namaz. I'm sitting in the masjid so I protect myself from sin. I'm sitting in the masjid with the niyat of i'tikaf. You made 4 niyats. You will get 4 times reward. Or one person sits in the masjid with the niyat of, I'm going to wait for namaz. He'll get 1 reward. One makes niyat, I'm going to wait for namaz and I'm going to do i'tikaf. He gets 2 times reward. So our shayat is easy. When you do it in the correct manner, our rewards will be multiplied. Anyway, subhanAllah. Just